Now, I know that this review is late, and I am sorry about that. It was just a mission to be able to get everything in place to actually record what I wanted to record. But with the time I spent with this game over the past month or so, I can now safely say for certain that my first impressions are slightly different. Now, yes, there is quite a bit of negatives to talk about with this game, but it doesn't mean the game is bad by any means. Just a few things we need to talk about, and thankfully, for the most part, Capcom has corrected the mistakes that they made with that disaster that was Street Fighter V. I'm going to be doing this review in order of story mode, and then into Battle Hub, and then Fighting Ground. Story mode is typical Capcom, very cringy. The dialogue, the characters, and the mission is all just very cringy and hard to even look at for a long period of time. Um, One in particular that's really cringy for me is the enemy gang that you're fighting, the Mad Gear Gang. Like, why the hell? Why the fuck am I fighting a bunch of assholes with cardboard boxes on their heads?
Howdy!
Hey. Hmm. Uh-huh. Ah.
And having a character send you text messages in the story mode is literally the fucking worst. Like, it's really fucking stupid. And there's also a mission where you have to battle against a AI sentient refrigerator. I'm not joking. You have to fight a refrigerator. It's really stupid. And there are some moments in the story where you also feel like it's a bit unfair for the opponent. The mission that I'm currently stuck on, I have to beat this mascot for a some kind of like dumpling company or something, and he's just destroying me left and right. And that's my experience. Maybe I just suck at the game. But one good thing with the story mode is the character customization. It is pretty expansive. I didn't do as much of a dive into the different options you can explore with customization, but there are a lot of people online who's making some really monstrous creations. And one thing to keep in mind is if you create a character with really long arms, they will potentially have a much wider hitbox range as compared to someone with regular size arms. So that could be a bit of an issue when competing online. As for the character that you choose, you are not stuck with that character you created. You can go to the certain shop and change your appearance completely, however you want to change it, just like Saints Row does it in their games. You just got to pay a little bit of the in-game currency. I think it's like 1,000 tokens in-game, or coins, or whatever the currency is. The open world we get here is not very large, but it's not very small, considering most of your traversal is running throughout the map, and you can also fast travel with the different bus stops in the game. It's really strange that they give you these other locations to visit, like Japan and London, Jamaica, the hometowns of the roster characters, but there's no exploration at all in those locations. It's just a one frame, one screen location where you talk to the character, and you can then choose to have them as your sensei or master, and they can train you and teach you their special moves. Aside from that, there's really no point into traveling to the other locations in the game. Now, I have not completed story mode. because it sometimes feels like a bit of a drag to go through, but it is a decent step forward for the future of Street Fighter games if they decide to do a similar story mode. Just make the map better, bigger, more detail, and less cringe. It's so fucking cringy, and I really hate that about the game, but that's just my opinion on it. If you enjoyed the humor that they were trying to go with or the themes they're trying to go with, by all means, but for me it was very cringy and weird. But if you do go through story mode, you are basically rewarded for your created character, because that's where you will level up, earn more stats for your increased health, increased drive meter, as well as learning a special character style to fight as well as special moves. My character is primarily using the Chun-Li style currently, which is one of the earlier styles that you get, but it's also one that I am pretty good with. And I have a mix of special moves such as the spinning bird kick, rising uppercut from Luke's, his whack-ass version of a Shoryuken. I do have the Shoryuken and the Tatsumaki Senpuken as well. So I do have a mix of special moves, and you can do that with your character to mix and match what moves you are most good with or moves you rather enjoy more. I have not unlocked the Hadouken. If I did, I would use the Hadouken for my character. And with the created character, you are going to get some use out of it in the Battle Hub. Now, Battle Hub is where you have the majority of your online battles, and there are a few different modes you can compete in. There is a mode specifically for your created character, and you can see some of the creations that other people have made. You can see what level they are. I once went into a room with a few level 100 characters, and I was like, nope, I'm not even going to bother with those guys because I might get destroyed. There is also a section called Cabinet Battles. This is where you will sit at a cabinet and choose to wait on player 1 or player 2 side, and you're basically waiting for an opponent to come and fight you. You can do some training while you wait. You can also spectate another fight while you wait. My biggest problem with Cabinet Battles, however, is you are basically forced to choose one character from the roster as your main. You are then stuck with that main character until you leave a fight and then go and change it for another one. And you're also stuck with the outfit and the color out of the outfit that you choose. So let's say you're in a battle with somebody and you want to keep doing some rematches. You can't change your character for a rematch. You have to leave the fight, change your character, and then try to find them again, unless they're a friend of yours and you can just battle your friend again. The only positive I see for that is it would give you the potential to keep rematching your opponent and keep practicing, keep trying to get better. I actually did a 5-win streak against an opponent online. I had Chun-Li, he had Luke, and there was 1 out of the 5 that he actually did try to, almost came back and almost beat me. So I guess that's the positive of it, but I do think it sucks that I can't choose a different outfit or a different color, or I can't change my character until I leave the cabinet fight. That's pretty much a bummer. And I think with that, it does also make the online battling a little bit repetitive for a fighting game that's already repetitive. So hopefully they can switch that out and maybe add a way to change your character for a rematch. You are also able to unlock some classic Capcom games like Final Fight or Street Fighter 2 and some other ones that I never heard of, and you play them in the Battle Hub. I don't know how to unlock all the games. I only unlocked one of them, but if you are someone who's interested in doing that, you can unlock them through the game and play it. You can also unlock some in-game music to listen to while you're playing the game or whatever. Finally is the fighting ground section of your game modes. Fighting ground does have a lot of things included, but it's still not without its faults. I'm gonna start with arcade mode. Arcade is very basic. You choose your character, you go through the arcade. You could choose, I think, between having 5 opponents or 12 opponents, as well as whether or not you want to include the bonus stage, which it's kind of dumb. In place of having the beat up the car, you got to beat up a semi, and then there's another one where you got to parry the basketballs that come in. But my biggest problem with arcade mode is it's supposed to tell you a story for each character and give you some kind of resolution to the character's story. What is their mission in this game? What is their life goals? And you get almost nothing from these arcade story cutscenes. The cutscenes are in a comic book style, or it's not animated. It's not a full cutscene with animation and everything. It's just like a image comic book style type of thing. And my problem is a character like Ken, he is on the run because he's framed for a crime in this game. And you don't get any resolution to that or really any detail in his arcade mode. And I'm wondering if they saved it for the story mode and you have to beat the story mode to get the full story unlocked. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to add any more to the arcade mode, but I think they should add quite a few more options. Each mode in Fighting Ground does have various different options you could choose from, some more than others. And I think a game like this could benefit from different arcade styles. If you remember back in Injustice 1, you didn't have just standard arcade ladder. You had arcade where you can only use hero characters, arcade where you can only use villains, arcade where your health will carry over to the next round, ones where I think you like lose damage per fight and you gotta win before your health runs out. So something like that could be cool with Street Fighter, but maybe if they can't do a game mode like that where you can only choose this kind of character or that kind of character, they could maybe do something like add more of the story for the characters, give more of a resolution for these characters. There's a huge roster of like 18 characters, and there's a lot of interesting stories that we want to hear about. What is Chun-Li up to now that she's, solved the murder of her father? When does Ken get the resolution? What is Ryu up to now that he's done with the Sasuke no Hado and he's now a master fighter? Like, there's so much potential for so many good stories that we don't really get it in the arcade mode.
I can't move forward until I settle things once and for all. But what should I do? Do I kill him with my own two hands? I just don't know.
Now, aside from arcade mode, you do have your standard 1v1, whether it's a CPU or a local player on couch co-op or couch whatever, 1v1. And there's also like a party mode where you can do different rules for the fight, one of which being knock down your opponent 5 times to win, one where a bull will run in and hit the characters unless you dodge it. There was one where the bull will run in during the knock down your opponent 5 times, and the bull does count as one of the 5 times to knock down your opponent. And it's interesting. It's not terrible. It's pretty cool, just to mix things up a little bit. The biggest thing I want to talk about with the Fighting Ground is the practice option. Now, yes, you do have your standard practice against a dummy where you can do your moves, but there are also tutorial for the characters. There's one where it'll show you how to use the character, what their basic moves are, how to use their specials with the drive meter, without the drive meter. And there's also a combo challenge where it'll basically show you the combo, and it's just you challenging yourself to actually perform that combo on time, and it's going to get you a competitive advantage online. And it's really great that they put that in, because it also helps you to understand some of your character's strengths and weaknesses. My main used to be Cammy, and I learned from this game that while she's very quick and her special moves are very quick, they are easy to block, easy to deflect against, and I've suffered for it very drastically. And I now use Chun-Li as my main because I've gotten much better with Chun-Li. I know her limitations in terms of, some of her attacks are also blockable, but she does have projectiles unlike Cammy. I do know that her 2 main specials do require you to hold a certain direction for a period of time, so you have to try to fit that in with your strategy. She's also good with air grabs. I can jump with another player. I can jump against my opponent and grab him in the air and bring his ass back down. And I am just waiting for Akuma to be released next year, because Akuma will be my main. That's my homie right there. So that is pretty cool that you have that practice mode, that you have those tutorials that you can learn how to use the characters, correctly. One thing that you do get for the arcade mode, which I forgot to mention earlier, is there are some like milestones to complete, and completing them will unlock various artwork in the game that you can view. Some of it really cool, some of it, it is what it is. But it's a little reward for trying to complete these challenges. The simple ones are beat arcade with each character 3 times, get 10 perfect parries during arcade mode, overall, do like 5 perfect KOs, that kind of thing. Some are a lot easier to do than others, and it doesn't limit you to a certain difficulty. You can do it on easy or very easy if you want to, just to get all the unlockables. So overall, yes, there was quite a few setbacks in this game, and majority of the focus, I believe, was spent on the online component. And it is a very good online component. It's very, very busy. A lot of people are playing the game. It's not like you're going to sit there for hours and hours waiting for a fight. You'll get a fight within a few minutes, sometimes in a few seconds. And I do know that they are planning to do some tournaments online. You can just go online and compete in the tournament. They did have some challenges you can compete during a certain time frame. Like if you complete 5 cabinet battles, you get this reward. If you win 5 cabinet battles, you get another reward. You are also able to purchase some, I think they're called drive tickets. They're supposed to be used for special outfits in the game. They're not worth purchasing. I don't have enough tickets to buy a bunch of outfits, and the ones that I can buy, they're just not worth it. They're not good. I don't think they're really good. They gave me drive tickets for I bought the deluxe edition, so I have drive tickets to use, and they're just sitting there. You can also purchase some in-game currency through microtransactions, so you can buy the classic costumes for the roster. I'm going to admit I did for some of them, because the only way to unlock them without buying them is to unlock their character as a coach option in story mode, and then max out the friendship with them by giving them gifts constantly. I just wanted to play as classic versions of my OG roster: Ryu, Ken, Cammy, Chun-Li, Blanca has a cool classic one. So do what you will. Do you want to spend money like I did? Go ahead. If not, you can unlock them in game. Final thoughts in terms of like returning characters. A lot of them look really good with the new redesign. Everyone knows Cammy looks amazing with the new design. Everyone loves the new design. Ken honestly looks like shit. I'm sorry, the whole story that they're going with him, he looks like shit. A lot of people hated Ken's design in Street Fighter V. I actually like the Street Fighter V design of Ken, but in this one, he looks terrible. Guile looks awesome in this game. I hate Guile. I'm not a big Guile fan. I'm not a big Guile person, but he looks awesome in this game. Zangief, not much different. He just has pants now instead of the wrestling spandex, but a lot of these returning characters look great. As for the new roster, I'm not a big fan of most of them. Kimberly's dope. I never cared about Luke. Luke is just a, Dominic Mysterio type of thing. If you know, you know. To me, he's like a Dominic Mysterio. I don't really care about him. Kimberly's cool. Marissa is interesting. I can't remember the one from France, but she's pretty cool. I'm terrible with these names. Jamie's interesting. I got bodied by Jamie Main. Actually, I got destroyed by Kimberly Main too. Like, it was so bad that I was just like, I rage quit basically, and I had to stop for a little while. So there are some new characters that are pretty interesting. JP is still a bit of a mystery. It's probably been leaked already who he really is. There's been some talks about him being M. Bison in a new body. I have no idea. Don't spoil it for me. I haven't beaten the game yet, as I said. So I do want to try to get through it and try to, beat the game and find out more about these characters. But I am mostly here for the returning roster. As for the DLC characters, aside from Rashid, who is coming out this month, Akuma is next spring, and I don't remember who the other 2 DLC characters were. But I just really care about Akuma, and I want to see what he's all about. So it's been about 16 minutes or so. So that's my Street Fighter 6 review. It was a long one. I know there's a lot to go over in there. But my main thing for you to take away is it is worth your money. It is worth your time. It is a very solid fighter. It has a lot of great mechanics for the fighting. Yes, there are a lot of setbacks, but if you are okay to maybe wait for a sale, it's going to be worth your money. If you are just looking for a good fighting game, full price is like $70, so that's up to you if you want to spend the $70 on it. Is it a good competitor for fighting game of the year? Absolutely. Is it gonna win against Mortal Kombat 1? Honestly, probably not. But it's a really good, solid fighting game. It is a lot of fun to play with, players online and, people that you may know. And I'll hopefully see you guys online. So that's my review for Street Fighter 6. Let me know in the comments what you think about the game, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Before the storm here.
Now, can they finish the super arc?
Wait.
A quick breather. They're backed up into the corner. Just goes for it at this range.
Wait.
Serving them a severe beatdown. And lands a rising uppercut. Reversal. Noticeable life lead. Is a comeback still closes?